You idiots have loaded up a hair-trigger, double-barrel shit machine gun, and the barrel's pointed straight at your own heads.
So, like the barrel of the gun's bent backwards?
Let's go, Randy. These boys want to play hardball. We can play hardball, too. Those two shit rats just pissed on $40 worth of eclairs at the bake sale. Randy, did you see that? Goddamn shit apple driving a shitmobile. What kind of a father lets his daughter do that?
On Friday, August 25th, 2017, Canadian actor John Dunsworth sat down with Wisconsin International Radio to talk about the show Trailer Park Boys and current events.
Miles Kristen here for Wisconsin International Radio, and today I am joined by the one and only John Dunsworth, also known as Trailer Park Supervisor Jim Lahey.
Peace.
So to start off, Mr. Dunsworth, tell us about the Jim Lahey show and Randy and some of the things going on with SwearNet.
Well, we've been so busy doing season 12. Did we do season 12? Is that the, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the one we just did, yeah. And I've been trying to have a vacation, but I'm available whenever they call me, but we haven't done a Randy and Lahey show for months. We've done a couple of little podcasts and stuff here and there, but I've been really enjoying my summer so far.
And so you were born in Canada, raised in Canada, lived your life in Canada. Tell us a little bit about what you love about Canada.
I wouldn't call me too nationalistic. I'm not a jingoist, you know, I'm not. I prefer our political system, and I don't prefer our weather. I think the weather here is, in the U.S., in different places. I mean, we have all kinds of different weather, but our winters are sucky. And I live right on the ocean, so it's cold in the winter, so I don't like that so much. I love the architecture in the U.S. and I mean, we usually play in movies downtown, in movie theaters and performance spaces downtown or clubs and stuff. So we don't get to see the seedy side of the U.S. And I love this country, and I sort of bunch them both together. Canada and the U.S. are North America. Now there's you know, with Mr. Trump talking about rejigging free trade for, I mean, we have 10% of the population of the U.S. So if he rejigged, how much can he rejig to save how much? I mean, what an idiot. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. In fact, let's go into that. Since the last time we talked, America elected a new president.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, I just think it's silly. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, most people voted against Hillary Clinton because they were made to hate Hillary Clinton for one reason or another. Some people had a genuine hate on for one reason or another. I mean, I saw her. I mean, nowadays, you know, I saw in the paper this morning somebody won $700 million, you know, on a lottery ticket. Someone else yesterday I heard won $400 million because she used talcum powder and caught ovarian cancer. I mean, what's money nowadays? I mean, it's a commodity. The crime is that a lot of people don't have any. And, I mean, there's a lot of talk about slaves now and about the South and Confederacy and Robert E. Lee and stuff. Well, the black people are still slaves, most of them. 50% of them are slaves to a system that is, I mean, it perpetuates itself. And it has for hundreds of years. So, I mean, things aren't going to change because people who are in control, and they don't want to give it up. What was the question?
Oh, about Donald Trump.
Oh,
your
yeah.
Thoughts on him?
Well, see, the guy was given a couple $1 million to start off with. If you give me a couple $1 million to start off with, I'm going to be a great filmmaker. Serious. I'll be as good as, you know. I've got a great amount. There's so much talent. There's so many people with so much to give. There's so much creativity in the world if it's allowed to flourish. But you know yourself, in school, if you want to be creative or a little bit innovative or different, you're slapped down. No, this is the right answer. Color inside the lines, my friend. It's the political system is In Canada, we have a new prime minister too. I mean, I think he's in a couple of years or a year and a half, Justin Trudeau, and not his. He's part of a power base. You know, his father was the prime minister. I mean, we have the thing in the U.S. where, you know, the wife of a president almost became president. The son of a president, George Bush, became a president. If that's not an oligarchy, I don't know what is. And how an outsider like Donald Trump managed to become so popular, you know, just with vitriol, essentially, it's not a good thing. It's not a good sign when, I mean, I think it was 1980, it's called the dumbing down of America. I mean, it's true. We are channeled through, it's a collectivist society, and if you step outside the boundaries, you're slapped down. You know, that's what it comes down to. And I think that the Trailer Park Boys, you know, they blur the line between what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And, I mean, it is puerile, P-U-E-R-I-L-E. That's my favorite word for immaturity. It is. But what makes it successful to me is that it's not political. It's not religious. It's not, well, it is sexist because the boys write it and they don't know how to write for women. So that's what my daughter Sarah always says. But making people laugh and keeping people happy should be the prime occupation of everybody. I want some argument.
I mean, don't you, so I have a question.
Yeah.
You say the show is not political, but you have two of the main characters are gay men. You had a person that was cross-dressing and passing as a woman, and you've had other things that I see would be political. Do you see that as political, or like trying to push the boundaries of comedy, or how do you see that?
Well, even though we play at that, none of us are alphabet people. There's no LGBT, SUMP, you know, there, this and that. It's just scratching at the surface, and it's just it's kind of making fun of what's going on in the world. But I don't. It's more social, you know. It's kicking the zeitgeist is what it is. I think it's not
Thought-provoking.
what
It's thought-provoking.
I guess, but we don't really make fun of gay guys.
No.
No, except
You play a gay man, who's assistant manager.
But I don't play him like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And Randy and I, we don't kiss and stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of huggy.
Yeah. One thing you brought up last time we talked, you turned me onto a band called the Tragically Hip.
I did? No, that wasn't me.
Well, you told me about the band, and I started looking into it, and I've been loving it. I've been listening to a lot of their
Maybe that
concerts.
could be Randers.
Well,
It's a Canadian band, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, your thoughts on the Tragically Hip and the role that they've played. Hello.
This is Chipper. Chipper. Chipper's our
coming to see the
guy.
table,
You'll
but-
see Chipper
Sorry
tonight.
for interrupting.
No, you can take this table if you need it.
No,
Yeah.
I might sneak that little fella, but your camera's on. I'll come back.
Come right
Okay.
back. Chipper is an invaluable member of our... And there's Timmy. He's running the show.
How's it going?
Good.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no. But no, the Tragically Hip.
We should have asked Chipper. Tragically Chip. Timmy knows about
You
the
could ask
Tragically
me.
Hip. Yeah. Who's with the Tragically Hip?
Who's with them? What do you mean?
Is that one of Bubbles' friends? Are they Bubbles' friends?
They were, well, Rob and JP and Mike, they were in one of the hit videos.
Yeah.
a few years
Oh,
back.
that's it.
So they've been
Oh, the
pals.
pizza delivering stuff? Is
Yeah,
that- yeah.
They've been pals for a long time. So
Neat.
If I ask you, what are you from Canada?
I am.
What has the Tragically Hip done for Canada? I mean, what are the things they've been involved in? How big of an influence have they been in Canada?
Wow. Having worked for them for a year, and growing up with them my whole life. Wow, I don't know. I think they're just, one of the legendary bands of my time for sure. I grew up.
What's one of the songs? Bang, bang, bang.
100th Meridian, Blow It High Do, Cemetery Side Road,
The 100th Meridian, I recognize
thousands
that,
of
yeah.
them, thousands. I think they're, for our era in Canada, like the band. Like they're the, like every, you put on Tragically Hip for every Canadian that's, you know, my age and around that age, they would know every word. You know, just magical people, fantastic human beings. Yeah, awesome.
See, I'm 71. I have never been a huge fan. I've been to 2 concerts in my life. One was with Leonard Cohen and Paid Paradise and Put Up a Parking Lot, Joni Mitchell, and in 1967. And the other one was with the Sting, or whatever that guy.
Sting the musician?
Sting the musician. I really like him. We went to see him and his band. Randy took me as a special treat, or Pat Roach. But I think I recognize the name 100 Meridian from, yeah, I do. And although I probably heard a lot of, you know, Tragically Hip stuff, I'm just not a musical kind of guy. I love the Beatles, don't get me wrong. And I love stuff like Scheherazade, Rimsky-Korsakov, you know, and I have wide-ranging tastes, but I like, my favorite piece of music today might be Shrimp Boats is a-comin', there's dancing tonight, you know, or Going Home, Going Home. You know what that's from?
No.
1950s movie about an asylum and the guys are all sitting there. Papa's expecting me, Mama's waiting too. You know what I'm getting at? A little bit of... One of my favorite pieces of music is the Ballad of the Shape of Things. You remember last year a movie came out, or 2 years ago, and this woman who was not Meryl Streep, yeah, Meryl Streep played her. And she was, she used to rent Carnegie Hall and sing songs, and she sang like that! And people thought it was a joke, and then people started sort of saying, wow, this is kind of neat. And it became a thing, and people used to travel from LA and New York to, where's Carnegie Hall? New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they used to travel from all over the states to go hear her sing, and they packed the place every year. But she had a terrible voice. So music, to me, is kind of, it's hold a mirror up to the times. I mean, nowadays, there's so much music and going like this, and everybody doing that same old thing. And I wouldn't mind if I could understand the lyrics, but it's hard out of that. And well, some of them you can understand the lyrics because the same words over and over again. Give me a call when I'm a give me a call when I'm a idiot. I'm an old guy. I got a really bad temper, I guess. But I don't take myself that seriously. I just, for a moment, I do, and then I take the opposite tack.
So, where does Canada stand now on the legalization of marijuana? Are they moving towards it? And
well, here's the thing. People know, law enforcers know, and medical people know that prohibition on whether it's alcohol or whatever it is doesn't work because it just spawns illegal activity.
Yeah.
And in the old days, so many of the politicians were in on it. Like, why did marijuana become illegal in the first place? Do you know why?
To break up the jazz clubs.
No. That was what happened, but why did they do it? Why? Because DuPont and...
Oh, right.
Yeah. They got Congress to change the law to make hemp illegal. Why? Because they had a new material and they wanted to put hemp, because hemp was used for clothing and ropes and all kinds of materials, and they wanted to market. So the same thing is happening right now all over the world, is that people are enforcing laws that keep the status quo. But in Canada, people are recognizing that safe injection sites for people who have opioid addictions or heroin addictions, they save people's lives and they save money in the long run. They save their healthcare system. I mean, I think that Canada is, it's only a little bit ahead of the States because you've got a half a dozen or more states here that condone marijuana and are making a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Smart. There are dangers, and just like in school, when you go to school and they don't teach you that you shouldn't have a credit card. They don't tell you that credit card companies charge at the minimum 18%. That you can, if you can get credit with a credit card company, you could probably get it with the bank for under 5%. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you how to. They don't teach you that birds of a shit feather flock together. No, I mean they do in a sense, but they don't say, look, when you're going to get married, when you're going to choose your life partner, here's what you should be looking for. And I mean, right from the very beginning, they should be teaching those kinds of values that are that personally enrich the individual. What instead they teach collectivist values of stuff that is, who cares about? I mean, I still remember the War of 1812, for Christ's sakes. Who gives a bumble? Yeah?
So my next question, now this might be a trade secret that you can't give away.
I have no secrets.
Well, I want to know, because in the show...
Can't tell you. I'm just kidding.
In the show, there'll be scenes when you're drinking an entire bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
What are you actually drinking?
Coke.
Coca-Cola?
Coke and water.
Coke and water.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, they buckle under peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people get drunk, even though they didn't particularly need to or want to. Because people are putting drinks in their hands, or they got to have a drink. Just have one drink at the start of the night, and then get your glass filled with something that looks like a drink. And Coke and water, you can make it look golden. Seriously, you can make Coke and water look like it's a light rum, or a medium rum, or dark rum. And you can match any color just about with Coke and water. And since I've been drinking Coke since I was 2 years old, it doesn't hurt my stomach. But they used to give me tea and water, and finally I said, no, please, no more. And then I discovered this wonderful secret. So you don't have to get drunk. You don't have to get drunk if you don't want to. Just get a little drinking pool, have a nice little drinking pool. After a couple hours, have another drink if you want. But look, never cross the shit line. That's what I'm saying. The shit, you know when you're there, you're just sort of balancing right there, but the shit robe hangs, and the shit robe's pretty slick. And all you need to do is drink a little bit too much, and then, my friend, you're going to fuck yourself over. That's all you're going to do. Not going to hurt anyone else. Well, you might, but you're going to hurt more. You punch someone, you're going to get a sore fist, aren't you? You're going to land up in the hooskow, and you might fucking lose your girlfriend, too, if you don't watch out. Something like that.
A couple more questions. You've always talked about how you have a great respect for the veterans in Canada and in America. And what are some of the things that you've done with the show as far as being involved with veterans over the years?
Well, way back when, we volunteered to go over to the Middle East. 3 different times we volunteered, and since the show was about dope smoking and stuff, they turned us down. Now maybe we didn't lobby well enough. The person that was asking for us didn't push the right buttons. But I know that many, many people have come to me and said, man, when I was over there, the only thing that kept me sane was Trailer Park Boys. At the end of the day, when I come in from the shitstorm, I'd put on a couple episodes and then I could laugh and go to sleep. But we played at lots of different bases. There's one place, I shouldn't remember, shouldn't name where it is, but I do this thing on stage where I bum a joint from the audience and smoke it inside a garbage bag with a window on the front. It's called the Jim Lahey Personal Smoking Device. And we've done that in 100 places all over. But I always say, listen, are you going to object to that? And this guy said, go ahead. But he said it's the first time in his knowledge any Canadian military base where anybody smoked dope in a public gathering. So there's hundreds of people there.
Next question. In the show, there is a lot of guns and a lot of gunfighting. Are these guns filled with blanks? Is the sound effects added in later? I mean, how do they make all of this very realistic gun shooting?
We really shoot people. Last year when Ricky's saying to Mo, put the gun down, and Mo throws the gun, bang, and shoots Ricky right in his family jewels. But it's sometimes it's fake blood, but not that often. You know, like if Ricky get hit if Lahey hits Ricky with an arrow, and Ricky has an arrow wound, and they pull it out, there'll be a little red spot there. But we don't take it too seriously. I mean, there's no gunfire experts or anything on the set. It's just foolishness is what it is. Ricky gets shot in the ass. Julian's only been shot once. I shot him, but I made a mistake. I love Julian. Julian's sexy.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you care to comment, what are your thoughts on Justin Trudeau, your Prime Minister?
Well, I was really happy until he abrogated his promise to do away with our first past the post electoral system. It should be representative. For example, if the Green Party gets 12% of the vote, they should have 12% of representation in Parliament. And I think the same thing in the U.S. Of course, you have an electoral college can really fuck things up, which really did last time, as far as I'm concerned. I think they should have called it a draw and redid it. Got 2 new people in there and had it out. Of course, who would they got? Pence and... Well, Bernie might have... Why was he such a joke? Why did people say he was such a joke? He wanted education, he wanted infrastructure renewal, he wanted all the good things that we all say we believe in.
The Democrats said they wanted to go with the safe candidate, and then their safe candidate lost, whereas Bernie would have most likely won the election.
Absolutely. It's called karma.
So in Canada, it seems like there is a bigger representation from third and fourth political parties.
We have 3 political parties. We have Liberals and Conservatives and the New Democratic Party. I actually ran for the NDP in the 80s. I was a political candidate. And I only did it because they asked me. And at that time I was doing theater and...
I remember seeing the video of you actually going door to door, I
Yeah.
think.
It was called John Dunsworth, the Candidate.
Yes.
And I never said no. Like people said, can you coordinate our high school drama festival? Yeah. You know, can you do a voiceover for our commercial? Yeah. Can you do a CBC radio? I couldn't afford to turn anything down. I had a young family and I was trying to make as much money as I could, so I never said no. And I don't know why I ran. I mean, any fool would know that I wouldn't stand a chance. But amazingly enough, 25 years later, the NDP did get elected in Nova Scotia. But the guy they elected was a numbskull. I actually had a meeting with him and begged him, because I'm involved with anti-gambling. Keep it in the casinos, don't put it in the taverns, right? Because
Because Ray will spend all the liquor money.
Yeah. And I actually have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on gambling machines, personally. I didn't spend rent money or food money, but the thing that trigged me was my brother-in-law stole $500,000 from my wife's family. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. And then I found out that was the story, that all the money, 70% of all the money that they get through video lottery come from addicts. And that there's 5,000 people a year who kill themselves in Canada. I can imagine how many in the States from addiction. So the government's building roads and doing their skullduggery on the deaths of people who are addicted to gambling. And the first thing that a politician says is, do no harm. And that's harm.
Yeah.
I forget what the question was. Oh yeah, the 3 political parties. They're all the same because they all want to stay in power. There's no long-term planning because it's not politically correct to say, if we do preventative medicine now, we're going to save money down the line. What they want to do is right now cut the healthcare workers. Like right now in my province, the premier just said, okay, public sector wages frozen. No negotiations, even though they're unionized. No third-party negotiators. That's it. Last year, what did he do 2 years ago? He killed our film industry. I mean, it's just struggling, flapping like a dead flounder. No, our premier in Nova Scotia.
Oh, right.
And I have a company for over 30 years called Filmworks, which was a casting agency. I started my own theater way back in the 70s, and then in the 80s I started a casting company. And of all the years that we had, last year was the worst. This year's we're going to make maybe 20% of what we made before he, and he promised that he wasn't going to touch the tax credits until 2020. And then as soon as he had a chance, for no reason, no, it doesn't save any money or anything. It was just an idiot move because it looked good to the people. We don't want these people in the theater. Like we work 12 hours a day, and half the time we're not working. So when we do work, we should make some good money so we can. I mean, nowadays in Canada, a fisherman can go and make $250,000 during lobster season, and then apply for the dole and get. I mean, there are so many inequities. It just boggles the mind. We lost so many creative people. They moved on to other things. I had two of my daughters were involved in the film industry. They've gone back to school now because there's no jobs. Well, maybe it's good they went back to school, but that's a scam too, isn't it?
Can be. Well, my last question. You've been an actor for many, many years, decades. You've been on the Trailer Park Boys, as well as a few other shows going on in Canada right now. Tell us, what has been your greatest successes as an actor in your career?
Well, first thing that pops in mind is university. I played Shylock in The Merchant of Venice. And that was a real eye-opener because I decided that I was going to be an actor for the rest of my life. And only once did I ever, when my daughter was going to be born, and my first child, Sarah, from Trailer Park Boys, and I was really worried about being able to support him. So I auditioned at the Neptune Theatre. Sir John Neville, he was the artistic director. And I hadn't had any luck with the directors before him, even though I was in school in Ontario and I got really good reviews. And I was a pretty good actor, a young fellow. I was a little bit of a, thought too much of myself perhaps. So when I came back to Nova Scotia after studying theatre at the university up there, I couldn't get any work at the local theatre. So I opened my own theatre, and that went for several years. And then they tore the building down. And so I'm floundering, I'm doing this and that and the other thing, I'm doing, commercials and stuff like that. And I went and auditioned for Neville, and he seemed so, it was very British, wonderful British gentleman. And I knew I fucked that one up too. So I took a real estate course, and I started a week late, and I got the highest marks in the class, which is the first time in my life I ever did anything like that, because I never graduated from anywhere, including university or high school. And I went out and I sold my first house, and then Neville called me in and said, I have a part for you in Les Canadiens, which was a really neat Canadian thing about the Montreal Canadiens. And I had about 6 parts in that, 6 small parts in that. Mm-hmm. And when he called me in, the next stop I made was I took my little real estate bag back to the office, and I said, see ya. Now, I don't know why I was so confident or so hopeful, I suppose, on the basis of that, because the next time he called me was to play a guy in The Night of the Iguana, and I was the guy carried the baggage on stage, and I peed on the baggage or something. I turned it down. I sent him a note and saying, it was a come down, and which was the stupidest thing a guy could ever do. I mean, because he was doing it as a favor, because he had no other parts for me, but I didn't look at it that way. And lo and behold, he still hired me. after that. I even got to direct. I've directed a lot of plays over the years as well. I forget what your question was.
Oh, just your greatest successes as an actor.
Well, I like directing too, and I directed a couple trailer parks, and I directed a dozen Gilbert and Sullivan's, comic operas. I think my success is that I've been able to keep working, period. And I've had some high points and some, every 5 years I do a live play now. This is a live play we're doing tonight, but I'm talking about, Tennessee Williams or Pinter or Shakespeare or something. So I try every couple of years to keep my hand in there. But lately, I'm finding it hard. I can learn my lines. I'm pretty darn good at learning them, but it takes a long time to punch them in. Like there's a script I have here for tonight. There's only a couple pages where I learned dialogue. A lot of it's ad-libbed. I worry. I get up early in the morning and I get into it, and then a couple hours later I'll pick it up. But the trick is to have someone work with you on the lines. That way you can learn twice as quick. But very few people have the proximity. When I'm ready to do it, there's nobody around. But I like to go down in a building. I do stonework now. Have you ever seen my video?
Yeah, in fact, somebody who knows somebody who opened for you and Pat last year in Green Bay, a guy named Brendan, I believe, mentioned that you do a lot of work with granite.
Yeah. Every year, every summer. That's how I stay in shape. This year I'm on my 3rd ton of sand. My record, I think, was 8 tons one summer. I could do 12 pours in one day. Now I'm doing 1 or 2, just taking my time.
So are you on the Atlantic?
Right on the Atlantic. And right now I'm working at high tide when I'm trying to shore up the wall that I put there, and the sea washed out the big ones. At high tide, when I'm working on it, I can get my feet wet. But I built a swimming pool and a theater of stone. If you go to John Dunsworth YouTube, you'll see that a couple of years I've done a lot since then, but you'll get an idea of what kind of stuff I like. I think that's my favorite occupation right now, is working, building things, painting stuff. When I'm going to sleep on the bus last night, I'm thinking about the pair of oars I've got hung up in my workshop that I put the second coat on. Can't wait to put the little red stripe on them, those kinds of things. I think that, what was it? The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. I think more appropriate is my father. I said, Dad, do you know anything for sure? My dad was a psychiatrist and a brilliant man, president of this and that and the other thing, well loved by his patients. I said, do you know anything for sure, Dad? Because we hardly talked like that. I'd have the token, get brazen. He was really anti-marijuana, big-time spokesman. He said, well, so when you're dead, you're dead. But you're not quite so dead if you contribute something. So I'm trying to make stuff for people to use after I'm gone. That's what and not trailer park, and not a play or a movie. Because I got sidetracked there for a bit because I was doing theater and having a great time, and I had my own theater, and I was in demand as a director, and I decided that, when a play is finished, it's finished, and you got a review, whether it's good or bad, or several reviews, and you have some photos, but I didn't have many memories because my memory isn't that good. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a shelf in my library with all the movies that I've been in? That would be something, because I can forget. I don't have to remember. I can just pull it down, and I'll remember all those people and places and good times. And that's why I opened a casting company, so I could get some work, because movies would come to town, but they bring all the actors with them. I belong to the ACTRA, which is our Association of Canadian Television Radio Artists, and they gave me a lifetime membership, so I don't have to pay dues, because I helped to establish the film industry in Nova Scotia, which I told you the Premier just dismantled. At any rate, my proudest achievement is staying busy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for watching. And don't forget, everything comes to he who waits, as long as she works like hell while she's waiting.